I went to an antiquated place. It's called a Barnes & Noble. Have you guys been in one? There was nobody there. But I'm going to teach you as much as I can in a very short amount of time. Is that okay with you guys? I'm going to go very fast. Very fast. Get ready. Turn the frickin' cell phones off. Because I got news for you. I'm bringing everything I got. And I don't want to see anybody looking at a cell phone. Not unless you're taking pictures. If you're looking at a cell phone, I'm going to attack you. Because I got news for you. I'm missing my wife right now. I got news for you. Now, here's my thing. She called me today because I think you helped me, Hanley. I accidentally blocked her. Have you ever done that? She goes, have you got my phone calls? I said, honey, no. She goes, check it. And I gave it to Hanley. He said, you've been blocking your wife. Here's what I want to tell you. And it's so key. I'm going to give a book away. Shout it out. How many grandkids do I have? 9. Who said 9? You go get a book. Okay. How many kids do I have? 5. Go get a book. Go get a book right now. You just get it. Here's the key. Everything is about the person. If I'm talking recruiting, everything is about them. Everything is about them. I know how many kids they have. I know everything about them by the time. I could care less if they come to EXP, Rebecca. I could care less. I really don't. I just want to meet another human being for a day. And get over it. Get over seeing, what's the script? What do I use? Are you kidding? Meet another human being every day. Hey, what did we do at golf today? What did we pick up today? Paul. Wait, Paul was hitting in front of us, Paul, with Dan. I met Dan and Paul afterwards because they were in the group in front of us, and at lunch, I said, I'm going to go meet those guys, and I met them, and Dan says, Paul's my best friend from high school. 50 years ago, we were in high school, and I go, you're kidding, my best friend from high school, Paul, from Roseville, is going to come tomorrow and spend time with me. And I went, dude, you're dudes, and then we boom, 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 and then Paul comes over later and goes, oh, you're new. He was in Santa Rosa with this dude. They knew each other. What's he do? Commercial real estate. He's with some company, Corcoran, I don't know what it is. But the bottom line is, meet somebody. Everybody you meet tomorrow knows a realtor or has a friend that's a realtor. This is not hard. You guys are making it way too hard. Way too hard. I'm serious about that. Go meet people and be genuine. Be genuine and don't try to be something you're not, okay? Gosh, I love that. I'm going to show you some things that you've never seen before. Now, here's the key about recruiting agents. I've created things. When I came to EXP 7 years ago, I'll be real, I love Glenn to death, but Glenn opened up his laptop and showed me 36 slides. And I said, Glenn, this is a true story. I said, Glenn, I have no idea what I saw. But give me those napkins over there, and I'll show you how I recruited at KW. I recruit on napkins and pieces of paper. Because there's everything I'm going to show you, you can do on a napkin. You should not need a laptop. And then the next day we met, and I fell in love with Glenn. You know, the bottom line is, Glenn's like when you meet Gary or Glenn, and I've met both of them, you meet somebody that's kind of special. I'm no dummy. I tell people I met Bill Gates, and they go, when'd you meet him? I said, I met him, 7 years ago. His name is Glenn Sanford. And I'm at a place where I know where I am. You guys know where you are? You're in a special place. You got to remember that. Did you ever, come on, guys. I'm the same age as some guy named Bill Gates. I'm the same exact age. I just didn't go to Harvard. I went to Arizona State. Anybody? Anybody? Okay? If you were my roommate, no big deal. Okay. Here's how I'm going to show you some things. Can I? Is there a place? Okay. Oh. What's the darkest ones? Let's see if they work. Okay. You want to hold this for me? Hold this for me. It's hard without a laptop. Thank you. Okay. I do these almost every time I meet somebody. Thank you. I do these almost every time I meet somebody because what happens is you need to set the stage that you know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter how much you've sold real estate. I've never been a mega producer. I've never sold a home in 23 years. when I interview people, they never ask me how many homes I've sold. Ever. Okay? First of all, I want you to do a few things, and I'm going to give you the outline that I tell people to use. It's very simple. What's that? Tell me about yourself. You guys will set a three-way call with me and go, Gene, I've got the #1 producer in Sacramento. They're going to meet with you, and you're going to send me all the information about that person. And I won't read one piece of it. I don't read any of it. Because I want to hear it from them. And I get on the Zoom and I go, tell me about yourself. And some people go for 2 minutes. Seriously, those are the high D's. Seriously, right? Boom, 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 boom. Just tell me about EXP. Right? Some go very methodical, the engineers. Right? High S's, high C's. Some start talking and never stop. The key is, I'm in their world, I mirror them. I mirror them. I do not try to cut it off. If they want to talk, and by the way, I love when they talk about family. By the way, when I say, tell me about yourself, they start talking about business. I said, well, what about the family life? Can you tell me about that? Where are you from? They start talking, boom, boom, boom. I can learn more in 5 or 10 minutes from someone. And you got to know how many kids they have, right?
Yes.
You got to know, if you don't, look, I ask their kids' names. You know, I write it down, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something. Anybody know the history of real estate? Watch this. History of real estate in 3 minutes. Watch this. 1970s. Who dominated that decade? No.
Century 21.
Century 21. Go back and see any Dirty Harry movie. Guess what they had? Gold coats on.
Gold coats.
Century 21 was the first one to franchise in 1972. They dominated. I've talked to people that bought their first franchise. They said, Gene, you wouldn't have believed it. They flew us out to LA. There were 400 people in the room. People were going crazy. I'll buy a franchise. I'll buy a franchise. Literally, they dominated. 1980s. Who dominated? Remax. What they come up with? The 100% concept, right? And I'll only take brokers. Only take top people. By the way, they turned Dick Dillingham at Remax turned down a little woman named Susan Cronin. Susan Cronin Leeser, who became Susan Fredrick. And to this day, he says it's the worst thing he ever did. He turned her down because they weren't Remax material. Right? She'd only been in the business a year, and she turned them down. Write this down. Don't prejudice yourself against anybody. Please write it down. All my life, my mom, Christine Hoban, she taught me to never prejudge anybody. Please write it down. You guys all do. We all have prejudices inside. But quite honestly, I never prejudge anybody. I just don't know who they are until I tell me about yourself. And you guys do. Right? See that waiter the other day, the waitress? She goes, I said, where do you live? I said, Puerto Rican. She goes, you don't look Puerto Rican. I said, wow, what a prejudice thing to say. Of course I look Puerto Rican. Look at me. But see what I mean? In your minds, you're already going boom. Read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. We do slices of experiences. We do slices of experiences. We do it subconsciously. We do it subconsciously. And sometimes if you do a slice of experience and do it subconsciously, it's actually not a good thing. Because you subconsciously go, I really don't like that person. I don't like the blouse she's wearing. Now, you might not know you're doing that, but you're doing it, right? Okay, 1990s, who dominated?
Coldwell Banker. Real-a-G,
which was Coldwell Banker. Thank you. What Real-a-G did, Silverman was his name. He had a great idea. You can look it up. Guys, I've studied the history. In the 90s, he bought Fred Sands in LA. He brought Henry S. Miller in, big independents. He went, and then he turns them into Coldwell Bankers. Century 21s, he bought in Northern California. Who'd he buy? Contempo. 1997, Gino Buffari. right? So I know the history. Now here's the key. 2000s, who was it? KW, we were there, weren't we, Don? Okay. 2010. Now, we started in 2009. At the end of 2020, we were at 41,000 agents. A year later, we were at 71,000 agents. Wow. We'll end this year somewhere between 90 and 100,000 agents. Now, what do you notice? This one, I do the history of real estate for people. I said, I want you, and I do this with people. I said, could you ask me a question? And I'll say, Rebecca. I said, Rebecca, when I'm interviewing, I said, do you notice something about the first 4 decades? What do you notice?
10 years.
They only did it for 10 years. They only dominated for 10 years. I said, but what else do you notice? They're all franchises. Rebecca, this is my opinion, but I think they're all blockbusters. Guess who's going to dominate 2020?
Netflix.
And the reason we're the Amazon of our industry. Everybody else is J.C. Penney's and Sears. And I tell them, I said, this is really weird, Rebecca. I can see the future. I really can. You guys haven't been here 7 years. I've been here 7 years. There were 400 agents when I started. 8 months later, I went to NAR, and that stupid president from one of those companies, HomeSmart or something, he had 20,000 agents. How many agents do you have? I said, we have 800. And he looks right at me, and he gave me that look, and Jason Gessing was right next to me. And Jason goes, God, he was really rude. And I said, dude, he is going to rue the day that he did that to me, because I got news for you. We went from 400 to 800 in like 4 months. For the recording. In 4 months for the recording. Hi, how are you? I like you too. Hi, Susan. So, okay, boom. You could sit down with somebody in 3 minutes, do the history of real estate, all of a sudden, you're the pro. That's it. And I do it on I call it copy paper. You guys call it something else. But 8.5 pieces of white paper, I bring them to everything. I bring markers. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I've only been doing this since 1989. By the way, 1989, I started my own company. I built it to 200 agents in 5 years. Then I sold it. I didn't know how good that was. Now I realize that that was pretty doggone good. But what I want to share with you today is a few things you can use really quickly to separate yourself, to sit there and go, well, you know the history of real estate. They don't know. You guys didn't know. You thought it was Coldwell Banker every decade. Subconsciously, this is for us, subconsciously. What happens when I put EXP into the next decade? Yeah. You know, subconsciously, they're going to think, I didn't say stay at Berkshire Hathaway. I didn't say Coldwell Banker's going under, right? Okay? Did I even mention Compass? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. If they do mention Compass in that, Raul, what I want you to say is that's their Realogy. Because all they do is buy agents instead of buy companies. I said, I've seen that model. It's exactly what I say. By the way, I never talk bad about anybody. I just said I've seen the model. I have seen the model. I don't say it's going to work or not. So anyway, next one. Anybody seen my napkin presentation? Now this is what I do with every single person. Literally every single person. I do this, and then I leave it off to the side because it's going to be my chart that I go back to. Okay. By the way, Gene Fredrick's my name, G-E-N-E-F-R-E-D. You start going G-E-N-E, G-E-N on YouTube, you'll find all this stuff. That's why you don't have to write it down, okay? So what I'm saying, people go, even my granddaughter goes, I put GEN and you are all everywhere. And I said, my granddaughter's 19 now. I'll tell you a story about her at the end, Sophia. My oldest granddaughter. Okay. Gosh dang, these are terrible. I need good stuff. That's the only good one? This is terrible. No, old-fashioned model. And I'm going to go really fast on this, okay? It's not going to look good. Just know I'm writing it, okay? I put old-fashioned model. By the way, everybody asks Don, processes. Mark Willis is going to come in with systems. We know he will. By the way, he's coming next spring. I don't care announcing it to all you guys. I know he's coming next spring. He's going to be, I can't wait for Mark to come because he will do that for us. Now, here's the thing. Old-fashioned model, is this not true? You start off with the international company. Then they get regions. They divide. We can do the KW if we want to, because I lived that for 21 years. I was a regional owner of Northern California and Hawaii. Our whole job as regional owners, there were only 32 of us, 32 regions in the United States. Our job was to sell franchises to who? The owners. Okay? The owners took all the risk. They signed the leases. And the owners hired who? Team leaders. And the team leaders hired staff. And then they had these people down on the bottom, which were called agents. I challenge anybody from any of the 4 franchises in 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s to say this isn't their model. It just is. Doesn't matter what form. They all followed the same thing, Matthew. So they had the international company, they did it regions, hired owners, signed franchises, and the agents were down at the bottom. Now I said, when I met Glenn, he did the flip chart thing. I spent a couple months later going, how am I going to show this? I ain't showing it on a flip. I ain't showing, right? So I made this up. By the way, it's pretty damn good. I would kind of copy it because it works. So I said, when I met Glenn, we did a paradigm shift, and we're starting a whole new model. We brought the agent up to the top, and we made the agent the owner. Literally. No regions, no owners, no team leaders. We're saving all these expenses. And just like Don explained the other day, if it's a 50-50 split on the company dollar, it's really a 90-10 split, right? Because 50%, 10% goes to international, and our international supports the agents. There's only 3 things we're different. Now, guys, I started this 7 years ago, and I had to make agents feel like it was okay. Right now in the market, come on. We're getting $25 million producers, 50. I just got a text. We're moving over a team that did $600 million last year. $600 million. The bottom line is, now you don't have to do this, but I had to say, look, first of all, you're going to sell real estate just like you did at Coldwell Banker. Keller Williams. There's only 3 things we do different. And these are the 3 things I want to talk to you about today. Number 1, we have what? What do we have? No? Virtual office. Can you say metaverse now? I like using metaverse. You know why? Because it's a kind of a cool word. So we have a metaverse, and we're the first ones to go to the metaverse, and that's how we got rid of all this. Number 2, what do we have? Stock. And number 3, what do we have? Rev share. So here's what I do. I write this out, if you want to, for the high C's and the high S's. You will probably print this up really nice and pretty. I've seen you before. I know who you are. Because they all do. They go, Gene, look, I did your thing, and it looks a lot better. That's okay. That's okay. But the problem is, you want to make it personal. You want to make it personal with people. It's as if the first time I've ever met somebody, I take this off and I put it to the side. I said, is it okay if we just go over those 3 things today? You're going to sell real estate just like you did at Coldwell Banker. You really are. We use the MLS, you use the MLS. You have brokers, we have brokers. You know, quite honestly, the only thing I can say we kind of add more is if you don't have KV Core, we've got KV Core. I'm assuming you have a CRM. Oh, you don't? Well, we might talk about that. And we have insurance, which insurance has been a big thing. But I said, other than that, quite honestly, I want to just talk about the 3 things we have. And the 2 things, and then I go, I do stock. Do you guys know the 5 ways you can acquire stock? What's number 1? First sale. What's number 2? When you cap. What's number 3? When you sponsor an agent. You get $200, $400, $400 when they close their first transaction if you sponsor somebody. I said all 3 of these are vested in 3 years. The 4th way you can acquire stock is take agent equity, take 5% of your commissions, and purchase stock at a 10% discount. Number 5, here's what I say every time. Rebecca, just so you know, you do 50 deals a year. You're what we call an icon. You are going to be the first person to ever not join once I show you this. Seriously, I'm going to be real with you. Seriously, in the last 3 years. Because once I show this, you're going to freak. And then I show them the icon program, which is basically, right? You pay in $16,000, right? On an 80-20 split. Oh yeah, Rebecca, you do that in a month and a half. Now you're at 100%. And if you do another 20 transactions, after you cap, there's a $250 transaction fee. What's that? $5,000. And then Rebecca goes, oh, so I'm paying $16,000 and $5,000. I said, no, Rebecca, here's the cool thing. This is when you become an icon, and we're going to award you $16,000 in stock. Welcome. I am so glad to have you. Because quite honestly, that's $16,000 worth of stock. I can show you, I can literally put you in touch with people. The first icon I had, Sherry Elliott joined in 2016. Her $16,000 worth the first year is now worth about $800,000. So this is not a little thing for you because it's in stock that can go up. I want to help you, all right? The other way you can become an icon is what? Without transactions. How much GCI do you have to do? That's for San Francisco, Miami, LA. By the way, we adjusted to this. So if you have an agent that only does 5 deals a year, but they make $1 million in GCI, you say once you make 500,000, write us a check for 5,000, you become an icon. Okay. Only reason I'm showing this stuff to you guys is 7 years. I've not changed my presentation at all. Okay? 7 years. Everybody goes, they come out with prettier slides than I have. They come out with great stuff. But people don't join not unless you connect with them. So the most important part of my interview is the team A. Just like Rosie was saying. She was talking about relationships, whatever. Right? Okay, we got another one. This is my favorite. Get fired up. Okay? Woo! Let's hear it. Here's the next one. Wait, stand up and applaud, because I haven't had a stand up. Yeah. No, I didn't ask for the applause, did I? Okay. Oh, Rick Jihad told me one time, you had to ask for applause. I said, dude, I wanted it. You got to ask. You have to ask if you want that energy. Okay, so I'm sitting with an agent. I do the old mortgage, because we're changing the mortgage industry. I'm not mortgage, I mean the brokerage industry, excuse me. Old-fashioned model, new model. Why do I say old-fashioned? do not say traditional. Traditional is awesome. Tradition is Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah. When you say tradition, I see it at NAR all the time. They go, well, that's a traditional company. I go, no, they're not. They're old-fashioned. I've been using it for, even at KW, I used old-fashioned forever. Because quite honestly, you've got to remember the words you use mean something. Never say traditional. I mean, traditional is, come on. That's football. January 1st, 5 games in a row with a bunch of food. Okay. And then I sit the agent down. I'll pretend Rebecca's my agent. I said, Rebecca, let me ask you a question. Could you engage with me and tell me what these numbers are? Don't anybody shout it out. I'm working with Rebecca. $900,000, 4%, $36,000, $3,000. Now, if she's a bean counter, what are they? What do those numbers mean to you? Well, if you had $900,000 in the bank after taxes, literally cash in the bank, if you went at 50 years old, and I've asked these, I've gone to a financial advisor, I'm 50 years old, I'm saying, you know what, I'm looking towards retirement. How much money do I have to have in the bank? Guess what they will tell you? You can take out 4% a year because you're going to live till 82. So we won't allow you to take, if you're going to retire, that $900,000 has got to last you till then. So we'll allow you to take 4% out, which is $36,000 a year or $3,000 a month. This is real, guys. Call your financial advisor tomorrow. Last time I did this, he said it's not 4%, Gene, it's like 3.4. Inflation, yeah, you have to save some money. Now, so Rebecca, I know you probably have $900,000 in the bank right now. But what if I could show you a way at EXP that you could have $900,000 in the bank in 3 years? Is that okay? So here's you, Rebecca. Why don't we do a 3-year plan? And I want you to go attract 2. Thank you. I want you to attract 2 agents a year. That's it. 2 agents a year. You're selling 50 homes a year. I guarantee you those people are going to call you and go, hey, why are you at EXP? You don't even have to do anything. Just send them to Rosie. Send them to whatever. So in your first level, you would have 6 agents. In our plan, on the first level, guess how much of the $16,000 we give you as a thank you for attracting that agent off the top as they close homes? The most you can make in a year is $2,800. 2,800 times 6 is $16,800. Now, Rebecca, I'm going to tell you this. In real life, I know I've been here long enough. If you have 6 good producers, by the way, I'm pretending they all cap. They don't all have to cap. We know that, but just for this example, okay? So 6 cappers times 2,800, they will attract 1 per person over 3 years. Do you think that's reasonable? Yeah. Okay. What happens in real life is one of them attracts 4, another one attracts 2, and the other 4 do nothing. I'm being real with you, but what's kind of cool is you'll have 6 people. Guess, and I'm going to ask you, Rebecca, guess how much we give you out of the $16,000 instead of $2,800? What do you think it is? No, what is it? Do you know what it is? Okay. The normal response you will get is $1,400. I get it all the time. Every time I do this, I engage people. See, you don't want to do presentations you don't engage. I said, guess what it is? And they go, it's $1,400. I said, good guess. That's what everybody guesses. This is when Glenn Sanford became a genius to me. It's $3,200. I literally say those words. I said, when he showed me that, I said, Glenn, what are you talking about? It's more than the first level. And he says, Gene, I want it to be a team effort. I want you to call, I want you to call Tom, and Tom calls, everybody. And it goes up the ladder, and everybody's going, yeah, we got another one? Yes, this is a team effort. I said, dude, at KW, it went from 50% to 10%. Did you guys know that? Okay, so the first level was the only one everybody really focused on. That's $19,200. God bless you. $36,000? Oh, that's funny. That's $36,000 in a year, $3,000 a month for 12 capping agents. I'm going to ask you a question, Rebecca. In a span of 3 years, you can go to your husband and tell him, guess what? I got $900,000 in the bank. And he'll go, where is it? And you're going to go, it's revenue share. It's revenue share. It's so, believe me, every agent in our company can do this. Every agent should be, you should presenting it like $3,000 a month. If you guys don't know this, I think last time I checked, like 50 or 55% of the bankruptcies in America, if they had $500 more a month, did not happen. Have you guys heard that? And I talked to a guy the other day. It was something, I might not be exactly right. So if we could get $3,000 a month during this little slide we're going through or whatever, how many of our agents are going to go, I'm okay. I can make my house payment. I'm being real with people. I only go 2 levels. I said, by the way, Rebecca, I don't want to go over it with it today, but we have a 3rd level, a 4th level, a 5th level, a 6th level, and a 7th level. Do you think these people might know people who know people who know people? It might happen. Okay, tear that off. Man, I'm going on a run today. I got to go fast. I got to go. There's too much stuff I want to go over. And they said, you only got this much time. I'm like this. Am I doing good? See, I like the energy. I like the energy. Okay, here we go. Another one. Here's another one for the biggest mistakes you have as attractors. You prejudge. There's 2 things you do. You prejudge and you compare yourself to others. Cut it out. Stop it. Write it down. So 2 major things I want you, well, oh my God, I'm not Rosie. Look at what Rosie did. Oh my gosh, they get up and they did that much. Stop it. Stop it. This is your life. I have agents that have never recruited anybody at EXP for 2 years. 2 years. And then they go, Gene, I'm ready. Let me get in that rev share. I said, cool, let's start. It is not a competition among all of us, right? Stop it. I'm just telling you, get over it. Stop having regrets that you didn't come when I called you. I called him in 2015. He didn't come till May 21st, 2018 when he called me and he said, I tell his story all the time. You're legit. You went NASDAQ. I said, Tom. He goes, let's talk again. 3 years later, right? But a lot of times I hear those people go, oh, Gene, I should have joined when you first called me. I said, dude, get over that. Get over that, because I got news for you. I have no regrets. That is just internal crap inside your body thinking about something in the past. That is so bad. That is so bad. I mean, I'm serious. As a parent, parenting 5 kids, sometimes I go, I wish I wouldn't have done. You know what? I'm getting over it. I'm getting over it. They're 40 years old now. Let them have all that crap. So... And then if you have anxiety, right, you have anxiety, that's the future crap. Oh, my gosh. And I know I'm talking to the women. I'm serious. It's real. My wife, let me tell you, when I sold all 6 offices in the region, there was a little tension in our little family for 2 years. And Susan is so kind, she would never say it. She would never say it. 2017, 2.5 years at EXP, true story. We're at Thanksgiving. That's my favorite holiday. We get all the family together. We must have had 15 of us. We go around and say what we're thankful for. I don't know if you guys do this in your family. It's just awesome. You give it to a 5-year-old, you'll hear some cool stuff, man. You need to record it. So we went around, and it was at our lake house. It's just beautiful. Then we come to Susan, November 2017. I'd been here 2.5 years. You know what she said? I'm thankful EXP worked. It was real. Do you understand? And when I heard those words come out of her mouth, I thought, she's been worried. Because women worry. Guys, I grew up with 4 brothers. I don't worry about crap. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm sorry about that, but that brought back memories. Okay. Summer of 2015, I'd been here a week. I spent 3 months developing how I was going to present the model. Invented the Icon program. Dude. I give Jason and Glenn all the credit, even David Gagnon, who was the head of growth at that time. They were so much fun to work with because there were 4 of us pushing this company. And my daughter, Nicole, she was 33 years old, single mom, 33 years old. And she comes over and she says, show me the EXP model. She had her license, but she'd never sold. She just had her license. She was working at tanning salon. She was regional director. I said, Nicole, instead of the 6x6, I said, and I actually showed this to Nicole. Oh, turkey buns. That thing doesn't even write either. Does any of them write? Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. You guys know what the numbers are now. Okay, if you had $4.5 million in the bank at 4%, $180,000 a year, $15,000 a month. Let me ask all of you, you don't have to raise your hand or shout. Would that be okay with you guys? Right? I see all nodding. You know, and I know some people want more than that, but don't prejudge. But if you had $4.5 million in the bank, would that be okay? What if I could show you a way to get $4.5 million in the bank through revenue share? I said, Nicole, this is my daughter's story. So cute. We were at the kitchen table. I said, Nicole, and by the way, she was the trainer for the tanning salon. You know, she had recruited people. She would hire staff. No, thank you. So I said, Nicole, I'm not going to do the 6x6 with her, right? I said, I'm going to do, I call it my 10x10. I said, Nicole, you got 3 years. I don't know why I picked 3 years. Does 3 years kind of seem good to you, Jackie? She said, Gene, she came up to me earlier, she goes, I got 3 good years. I think people think in 3 good years. I don't know why, but we kind of, as human beings, yeah, I can give it 3 years. Rob Flick told me that. When I got Rob Flick, he goes, Gene, I got 3 good years. I think for some reason we feel like energy-wise we could give it 3 good years. So on your first level, I want you to go get 10 people, 3, 3, and 4. You get really good that 4th year, you get 4. We know the numbers. 2,800. It's $28,000. And I said, Nicole, now the second level, because she was a trainer, she was really good. She would recruit. I mean, she was hiring people, training them. I said, I want you to teach these 10 how to get their 10 in 3 years. It's different than the 6x6. She goes, I can do that. So you'll have 100 people on your second level, 3,200. You guys can do the numbers in your head. $320,000, $348,000 a year. Now, what happens in real life for you guys, this can happen. I've seen people do it. But one person will get 40, another person will get 30, another person will get 20, another person will get 10, and the other 6 will love our stock. Seriously. I'm just giving you real life, right? Now, when I did this to her, I said, so for 110 agents, and what did she say to me, since I'm her dad and she's my daughter? They all won't be cappers. You know that. I said, okay, let's just all pretend they're half cappers. Can you just round it with me? 180,000 a year, 15,000 a month. True story, guys. Have you guys ever seen Wolf on Wall Street? It's a true story. It was in my living room. That scene where they were in the restaurant, and the guy, how'd you get that yellow Corvette? 1986. Well, I made $72,000 last month. This is 1986. And the guy says, you show me a check for $72,000, I quit my job, come work for you. That was my daughter in the living room. She quit her $100,000 job. And I said, you follow me around. She's like a little puppy dog. She had never recruited a soul. Didn't have the experience you guys have. She had none of that. She says, I'm all in. Right? You know, and I've had Nicole come up before. She followed me around that summer, did really well. Then she found the love of her life, Brian. Oh, that was a bummer. So they moved from Austin to Dallas, because that's where his family's from. Then she gets pregnant. And then we planned the wedding for a year, and then she gets pregnant. After that, it was literally 3 years she didn't do anything. So literally my daughter's only been doing this for the first year, and then about 3 years, and she's got close to 1,000 people on her RevShare team. And you know, she just thinks I hung the moon. Now, when I say that, wouldn't you like to do that for one of your agents? If you got a team, wouldn't you love that to do that for one of your fellow agents in your market? That's what I think of. I think of how can I help agents in my market get out of the rat race? Because the number one thing I hear from agents is what? I heard it from Hadley on the course today. When are you going to burn out? Hadley says, I thought I'd be selling real estate for 30 years. Okay, good luck, dude. Because guess what? 30 years selling real estate? Whew, I did it for 11 years. Hard. I was top Tony in the state for RE/MAX. I sold 120 homes a year, 3 years in a row. I got news for you. I was a good agent, but I got burnt out. That's when I got into management. That's when I thought, Don, let's go open up offices. Dude, let's get residual into our life because of, you know, Cash Flow Quadrant and all those books. It's like, you got to own a business. Well, I want you guys to think of, take that off, put that up there. Dan, I need another standing ovation. I like it. I like it. I'm glad okay, sit on down. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. I don't understand why speakers don't do that more often. I got one more I just invented recently. Now, if you just did those 4 things I showed you, history of real estate, I call it the napkin presentation with the old-fashioned brokerage model, new brokerage model, and then do RevShare, stock and RevShare. It's about 5 pieces of paper. I usually bring 5. I write big, and I sign it, and I give it to them. If their spouse is not with them, I ask for an appointment with the spouse. I just do. Here's the number one reason you think, wait, I explained it really good, but why aren't they coming? There's something outside that you don't know about, guys. There just is. And it could be a business partner, it could be a spouse, it could be a dad, a mom, somebody saying, wait, you're number 1 at Coldwell Banker. Why would you're number 1, you get there every year, right? So I really try to take that away right away. I set up another appointment with the spouse, let's go have dinner. I'll show the whole thing again. Nicole really she was so funny when she spent that summer with me. Now here's my plan, and this is the plan you guys can do if you want to do it, but this is what I did. I was at a coffee shop, and I do not pick Starbucks, way too loud, way too busy. Pick your normal coffee shop that's just normal. And I was there, and I had a 10 o'clock appointment, a 1 o'clock, and a 3 o'clock appointment. 10, 1, 3, 5 days a week. It's real simple. This is my job. I have a 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I double and triple booked a lot. Because he said 70% of the people show up. So guess what? A lot of times I'd double book, triple book. And then I'd go, and I'd notice, ooh, I got 2 appointments tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Well, I'll call one of them and see if they can make it at 5. Because then I do 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. The reason I do two hours is I've done this for so long, it takes me 30 to 45 minutes to get through Team A. It just does. And that's who I am. You can do it faster, but I got news for you, man. I want to know that person. I just want to know the person. And you guys are rushing through it. You're getting to the presentation before you even know anything about them. And it's a struggle. So this new one, I'm going to go over with you, is, you guys think maybe it was a cocky statement, that it's over. It's over. What do I mean by that? The old-fashioned model is over. We are growing so fast and they can't believe it. They've not adapted to us. Nobody's got a metaverse, so they can't get rid of their expenses. They all still have franchises. They still have leases. It's over. Now, why do I say it's over? This is an LA guy last week. First of all, I want you to memorize this. You'll get this a lot. Did I miss out? Is it too late? Okay, write this down. 5 years from now, this is 22, so really about 2028, all the homes sold in North America, California, Sacramento, wherever you're from, 80% of those units will be sold by agents that don't have their license yet. So everybody goes, well, the agents are already there. I said, they're not even here yet. They don't even have their license yet. So you guys have just as much opportunity as I have. Okay? That's why I know it's not even close to being over. Because when you're growing this fast, everybody's always going to try to knock you down, right? Here's the other thing why I think it's over. I did this 5 years ago, and then Glenn made me take it down off the internet. Just so you know, I said it was over 5 years ago. You know why? We have a secret sauce. This is the secret sauce. People just don't know about it. See, I've ran brokerages. Don's ran brokerages. You've ran brokerages. Jackie's ran brokerages. The bottom line is what happens when you run a brokerage, there's one person doing the recruiting. So watch the KW model. Tell me if this is not right. They have about 820 franchises, last time I looked. Okay? So what do they hire? Team leader. So they have 820 recruiters. How do they pay those recruiters? Salary. Maybe with a little bonus, right? But mainly salary. Here's the secret sauce. It's over. We have 84,000 agents. What percentage even attempt to recruit? 20%. So I'm going to say this, 20% are going to attempt to recruit and 10% are going to succeed. So let's take even 10%. I don't even want to go to the 20. How are these 8,400 paid? What is that, commissions? Well, it is, because it's really a commission-based, right? In other words, you don't get rev shares money that the agent has to produce. So what's cool is it's not a salary. We're realtors. I don't know about you, but I worked hard as a realtor because I got six, sometimes I got 3%, 6%, 2.5%, whatever. I was kind of, you give me commission, boom, I'm there, right? You give me a salary, right? So these incentives are based on what you do, right? It's basically a sales commission job. It's over. It's over. It's over. Rosie, see, I know it. I know where I am. I would have, how much would we have done at Cupertino or any of those market centers to have 10% of our agents out recruiting? We would, by the way, everywhere in the nation, anywhere in the world, no longer in your local market. If you guys are going on vacation this summer, man, I would meet everybody from those foreign countries, wherever you're going, right? Or if you're going to another state, right? Because I did this 5 years ago, but I didn't say it was over. I just said we're going to have more recruiters than anybody. I don't mind saying recruiters. You know why? It's not a bad word. It means that's what I'm doing. I'm going to sell real estate, and and I'm going to spend 4 or 5 hours a day recruiting. By the way, if you recruit an agent and they stay in the business 10 years and recruit 10 other people, how much are they worth for you? Come on, guys. You know, now, sell real estate. We are selling real estate. But I got news for you. I haven't sold a real estate in 23 years. I feel really comfortable. No, seriously, I do. I feel really comfortable because I know I've got residual, which I never had in my life, right? Mark can go down the tubies and I'm still okay. All right? Now, tear that off, throw that over there. Have you seen some stuff you haven't seen before? That's what I wanted to show you today, right? Some good stuff that you can use, Joel, in recruiting agents. Because quite honestly, let me end with this. So the next 2.5 years are going to be eventful for us. I started in 2015. I read stuff. I even read the NAR stuff. I know you guys don't, but I do. And I read forecasts, and I read all this junk because I want to know when the market was going to turn. Guess what? They said 2017. I said, cool. They said 2018. Cool. 2018. It just kept going. And then when COVID hit, I thought for sure the market was going to turn down. 2020 was the best year ever in real estate. It followed up with 2021. So now we've been in an up market for over 10 years. Guys, I'm telling you as a recruiter and person that has been talking to real estate agents since 1989, they will talk to you now more than they ever have. Because even if they sold 15 homes and now they're selling 12, who do they blame? The broker. Of course, you're supposed to give me leads. Why don't we put a bigger ad in the paper? I don't understand. You should be doing more for me. Right? I mean, that's what I would do if I was in one of those brokerages. You know, why aren't you putting an ad? Why aren't you Century 21? Put an ad on the Super Bowl. I don't know. Some goofy thing. But here's what I'm going to tell you. This is there for everybody. Don't feel like I'm special. I am not special. I'm just good looking. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I do on Zooms. It's so funny on Zooms. Because you guys are this big on Zooms. You know that. You were this big on Zooms when I met you, you know. And then when I meet them in person, I said, man, aren't I better looking in person? And the wife always laughs, and the husband's like, oh, geez, this guy's kooky. I like humor. That is me. I can show you my high school. I found my high school yearbook, which I've never read forever. I don't know how long I've seen it. I literally looked at it. You're funny. You're funny. You're funny. You're funny. I said, was I really that goofy in high school? Or, you know, in other words, that is my personality. I want you guys to write this down. Be your personality. You will come across genuine. Right? I'm not Brent Gove. You know, but I could be. I love Brent Gove, but you know what I mean. I can't be, who can be Brent Gove? I'd be lying on the ground, kicking things, right? But that's who he is, right? He's who he is. He's not pretending. I play golf with that guy a couple times a week. He is not pretending. So, I told you I'd tell you a story about my granddaughter. She's 19 now. She's a sophomore in college this year. When she was 2 years old, and this is very vivid, by the way. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to remember this room. Right, thank you. Let's give a round of applause to these people that set this up. Thank you. You'll remember memories of kind of what happened. So I got to set this up for you. That was my daughter had a beautiful Sophia her senior year in high school. So I said, that's great. She gets to live with us. So she lived with us her first 3 years, right, when my daughter was, you know, working and stuff. So I loved it. My first granddaughter gets to live with us. This is like heaven. So one Saturday, she comes in. I'll never forget this. And I got to share this with y'all. I hope I can find a picture. I really wish I had a slide for this. But she's half Hispanic, so you'll understand. Big, long black hair. I mean, I thought she was Darth Vader. I mean, she seriously had hair down to here. I called her baby with a helmet. You know, and she was so cute. And she runs in, and as you know, 2-year-olds, anybody 2-year-olds? Do you? Anybody? Got any? 2-year-olds, they're at that perfect age. She runs into our master bedroom, and Susan and I had just made the bed. We have, I don't know about you women, but you have all these big pillows. I don't know what it is. Like, there's like 18 million pillows, like, for some reason. Tell me later what that's all about. So she runs in, boom, 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 2 years old. Grandpa, Grandpa, she goes, I can fly. And I looked at her, and my daughter knew. I grew up with 4 brothers. My daughter looked at me and went, oh, no. Because I picked that little girl up, and I said, and there's all those pillows. I had a good aim, baby. And I took her, and I threw her up in the air, and her hair was just going back. She was like a squirrel up in the air, like a flying squirrel. And seriously, she went about 10 feet up in the air, and she hit the pillows. Boom. I can fly. Again. Boom. This was before iPhones. So my daughter ran to get a camera, and she took pictures, because this went on for 3 hours. Now, here's the cool thing. When I was doing that, and it's so joyful. I don't know about you, but this memory I got goosebumps. So I'll never forget her saying she could fly. So when did you guys decide you can't recruit? You're adults. Try being a 2-year-old again. Try taking, and by the way, when you go home and say, I'm going to start recruiting, and your spouse goes, oh, no, 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 take out the garbage. You go, look it, put your hands in here, give me a couple hours a week, give me permission, because I'm going to turn into a recruiter. Because you got to have that feeling. You got to have that feeling that you can do it. And you know, I really believe for you guys, pretend to be a kid again. There's too much junk in our heads going, no, 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 you can't do it, right? I didn't think that in 7 years I could build the organization I did, but you know what? I just let it happen. And that's what I want you guys to think of. Let it happen. So that's the end of the Gene Fredrick. You guys go. Go have fun. Do it, baby. Come on.